Today we'll explore where you can reduce factors and not reduce value. And this is a key element of our ongoing discussion of value innovation. And it's the second piece within that discussion as we explore value innovation as part of the opportunity analysis canvas. So certain factors can be eliminated and others may be preserved, albeit reduced. And that's the type of factor that we're going to examine today. We want to think about opportunities where we can be more efficient and more effective than competitors, deprioritizing certain factors while not eliminating them altogether. So the Nintendo Wii is a great example of this. They envision a new interactive gameplay format that abandoned the conventional pad, the conventional keypad, and that embraced a new motion play experience that was more active, that brought kids off the sofa, that enticed adults as well. So instead of sitting on a sofa or a chair playing, as we had done for decades, it was going to be an experience something like this, where it was going to be a family environment. It was going to be an engaging environment. It was going to be a much more interactive environment and a very different experience than home video consoles had delivered for the decades prior to the Wii. Very unconventional thinking. If you would have gone into the market and said, we realize that there are better graphics and that there are faster computing power platforms and that there are more complex and challenging game strategies and storylines, but we want to abandon that. We would like to bring a worse graphic experience. We would like to bring slower computer power. We would like to bring a simpler, less complex game to the market. That's not a proposition that most people would buy in on. But as Sony and PlayStation and the Microsoft Xbox was going one direction, delivering all these very advanced features and experiences at a high cost, Nintendo went a very different direction, a very unconventional direction. What they found was they were interested in new customers. They were interested in creating customers by engaging them in ways that they were previously underserved. They were interested in older non-gamers. They were interested in parents that desired their children to be more active and very young children, perhaps the 2 or 3 or 4-year-old that did not necessarily have the dexterity or just the mindset to engage in a lot of the games that were being delivered on the other platforms. Certain benefits to being simple is that it led to a console that was fun, that was simple, and that was interactive. It also was very different from what else was out there. It reduced the need for Nintendo to build expensive equipment that was expensive to sell, that was expensive to develop games for. And so thereby they created new demand from a new customer set with new wants and needs. They looked across the existing boundaries of competition and realized, and this is the case for virtually everyone, there are many more individuals that have not yet been served in a given product category than there are those that have been served. So I'd encourage you to think less about how do I steal customers from competitors versus how can I secure new customers in the market. So by rethinking this buyer value, it gave them the opportunity to think about demand in a different way. What can be reduced, raised, created? So they were really able to start with a blank page when they thought about value curves and how to be innovative in that context. And it was successful. When that is compared to the other video game consoles that were out there, and we look at a pattern of sales from the year that the product was launched, we see the Wii far and away more successful than any other platform. And in some years, more successful than multiple platforms were when they were combined. And that was a persistent success for years. And it even changed the way that Sony and Microsoft perceived their gameplay, and albeit very late to the market, they did eventually bring some motion-based tools as well. But Nintendo had the clear advantage, had focused on that simplicity, had focused on that interactive experience, and building a whole series of games and interactive experiences, leveraging this new and less expensive platform. So in summary, when we think about reducing factors, it's important to recognize that it gives us the opportunity to be more efficient and more effective than competitors. that we want to think about how to differentiate and how to do it in ways that still retain value and retain the elements that matter. Going forward, we'll continue our discussion of value innovation, and next time we'll talk about raising factors.